Top form. This morning, bite-sized nugget is going to be structured around water, right? And the essential and the importance of water, right? When we look at water, what does it mean to have water flowing on a planet? This is why when NASA visit a planet to explore it, currently they are on Mars with all the different rovers. They are still trying to, I think they have already established that, hey, Mars used to have water. So now they are trying to establish what causes Mars to lose this vital, this key, this essential component to life. But first, let us have a look at why is it important, or why water is essential. And it said water is essential to life on Earth as it support vital biological process, right? It sustain the ecosystems and shape environment. Water, right? And Earth as we know it is, Earth would cease to exist. So without water, Earth as we know it would cease to exist. And this is why NASA is they have come to the conclusion that yes, Mars used to have water, right? But the water it get evaporated out into space. So that's why Mars is the way it is. When we try to look at that and said, what we are trying to get through to you to this video is you need to establish your key component to abundance, to happiness, right? To financial freedom, to health and well-being. What is going to be that key component? What is your water, right? As a wise man talk about the acres of diamond, right? The diamond's got to be that you're gonna have to find your everlasting source, because look, without that source you're going to be withered up, right? This is why every country you go to, right, the water source, you can't just walk up in our country and access the water reservoir, the water that goes into people's house. Those are restricted spaces, right? You can't just have access to it, because guess what? If you are going on those restricted land that the water source is that they are putting into people's house, you will be done for trespassing. And if you are not done, then you could experience the worst fate, right? What we are saying, you got to identify your water source and you got to protect it. You can't just let every and anybody have access to your source. The source that motivates you, the source that encourages you, the source that tells you the importance of perseverance, the source that makes you love, right? The source that drives you. You can't just let every and anybody come and have access to your source, because some people is coming to pollute your source, some people is coming to just with the bucket to take away, and some people is just coming to expose. It's just like how they say Mars lost its protective shield, right? It lost that thing that really protect the atmosphere from the sun. So once you see a lot of people nowadays, they are talking about the night skies, where they're talking about, they just look like the sky is just littering. That's Earth protective magnetic shield doing its job, right? I'm wondering why it is so prevalent now, because they never used to see it. So I'm still praying that it's doing its job, because Mars lost that protective shield, right? Then they said the water just evaporated out into space, right? So sometimes if we don't protect our reservoir, if we don't protect ourselves, and we'll allow everybody to come into our space and they come in with the buckets, because let's make no mistake, they're either making a withdrawal or they're making a deposit. So once you identify those sources, that's essential. I would like to remind you the meaning of essentials, a set of basic but simple principles that everything derives from. Right? This is why if we go back and listen to the words that's been said before us, right? It says the things that were given to us from birth, we tend to take it for granted. And the things that we can purchase with money, we put more value on, right? A lot of us don't appreciate water because we're born on a planet that has water. And as soon as we turn on the tap, we'll always expect to see running water. But it's not until you travel to some distant land and you realize where people have to travel miles and miles and miles for water, then a lot of us grow to the appreciation of the importance of water. But remember, as I said, without water, life on Earth would cease to exist as we know it. This is why Mars is in the state that is in, because there's no running water. Its last is water. So don't let people come into your life and allow you to lose your essential component to life. You got to protect the reservoir of life. You got to protect the thing that's giving you the abundance. You got to protect it, protect it, protect it. And that's what I want to impart on you this morning, all right? This is why we said, as we start out at the video, the first thing NASA tried to establish when they are exploring a planet was water ever present. And if water wasn't present, is the water there in some ice form, right? Because sometimes a lot of us have our talents and our gift, but it's frozen up inside of us, right? So we still the water is our blessing, our gift, our talent, our greatness is inside, but it's frozen, right? So we gotta take the steps like our NASA step. Take the steps, all right? Gotta establish what's my abundance, what's my talent, what's my gift, what's my greatness, what's my water, what's my essential flow. You gotta protect it. Remember, it's top form, it's will to power. Make the sacrifice